The Beating Dusk by Álvaro Efraín Martínez España. Chapter 2. Chief Police Cervantes had been looking all the files of the case the whole morning. He had asked Joseph to print them immediately, right before the young man left the building, in order to get a couple of signatures from college for his social service process. Arthur had been reviewing the material sheets thoroughly, one by one, non-stop.
Something here is not okay. This information is completely worthless. There's nothing conclusive here. What will I do?
After the sixth or seventh look at the report file and the pictures of the crime scene, the wolf felt exhausted, like he was getting absolutely nowhere. Another person came to visit him. Standing in the doorstep of Arthur's office was Esteban, a federal patrol officer who had recently been promoted and now worked as a wolf's bodyguard.
Sir, do you need anything? I could bring you a sandwich or a cup of coffee. You look pale and task-tired.
Oh, do not worry, my friend. I'm just facing this complicated issue. I believe I've reached an impasse. This case I received today, well, it seems like it has no head nor tail.
So, you mean you're lacking some data? What have you got there?
Well, my dear fella. Okay, I'll show you. I'm facing a terrible murder in a school, the Belisario Dominguez. A teenage girl was attacked and her body was found in the middle of the playground, with no signs of abuse but of torture. Her palms and feet have been held with iron bars. A few pictures here. As you can see, photographs are quite graphical. Nevertheless, there is no information in the report about her wrist or neck, which is basic data in a forensic form. There is no evidence of any way of transportation for the body either. There is nothing conclusive.
I see. Well, I think that you can extrapolate two possibilities from this lack of information. If no transport method was used for the body, inferring that the victim had been taken from the street, then either of the criminal is big and well-built man, or he has an accomplice. Well, anyway, I believe you need a rest, sir. Can I bring you a bottle of water?
Arthur was impressed. He had to admit that Esteban had done such a clever observation. Of course, nothing that he hadn't thought himself moments before his intervention, but it was surprising anyway.
I could use some fresh water, indeed, but let me go with your dear friend. I need some fresh air and to stretch my legs. I also want to go get my newspaper, so let's go.
Chief Police Cervantes stood up from his chair and walked out of the office, followed by his bodyguard.
Right after you, sir,
said Esteban to his boss, and then restarted the conversation, while both of them walked out of the room.
Well, Chief, I really believe you'll be able to figure out everything. You just have to go back to square one and find all those answers by yourself in the crime scene.
I hope so, my dear fella.
Both men walked until they finally reached the elevator. They waited for about a minute, and the doors finally opened. When the two men finally got outside of the building, Arthur simply ignored Esteban for a moment, whilst he asked for a bottle of water to Mr. Julio, the person in charge of the newspaper stand.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Cervantes. Would you like your newspaper?
Yes, please. And, a nice bottle of water. Cold, please. This hot weather is unstandable, huh?
Oh, so true, Mr. Cervantes. It's horrible. One doesn't even want to return home anymore.
Why would you say that? There's nothing worse than a jealous wife, huh?
His own commentary surprised Arthur. Esteban did too, as he couldn't remember his boss holding such a personal chat with anyone at the office.
Delicious. This is exactly what I needed. Well, I better get back to the duty. Thank you, sir. It was a tremendous pleasure chatting with you. Have a very nice day.
You too, Mr. Cervantes, and thank you.
I know what you must be thinking, my dear fella, but people like Julie are the kind we're lacking in this country. Honest, humble, those who work their asses off. Instead, we have in our corporation lame public servants who can't take their jobs seriously.
You said it because of your actual case, don't you? Well, sir, if you let me, I'll tell you something I've learned in all these years of service.
I believe I know what you're about to say. In this country, there are two undeniable things. The first one is that a crime scene never gets destroyed so easily and so fast. This, ironically, because of the lack of interest and hard work that our people put in the case. The other one?
It's completely the opposite. A crime scene could well disappear and turn into ashes forever. Ashes, which tell us where the fire had existed once.
The wolf felt a little desperate. He wanted to go to the crime scene and try to get all those clues on his own, but he knew that wasn't possible, at least not until around 5 in the afternoon.
I'm just puzzled in something. How? Either I'm facing a magician better than Houdini, or someone genuinely obsessed, genuinely and dangerously obsessed.